This video features the guitar and bass parts that are present during the bridge and verses of the song. The tuning used in this video and on the record is standard E and 440 wavelength calibration. This lead part will enter the song at exactly 1 minute and 17 seconds on your timer. It's a riff pattern that's only one measure long, but it's going to repeat itself 16 times throughout the bridge of the song. There's two ways to go about doing this. I'm going to show you the easiest one of the two. Place your first finger on the B string at the 8th fret. We're going to pick this down on 1, followed by the middle finger on the G string at the 9th fret. This is going to be picked up on the and beat. Then it'll be followed by the pinky on the 11th fret, picked down on the beat. This is what you have. It's counted 1 and a, 1 and a. Notice the picking motion, down, up, down. Down, up, down. What we have there is called triplets. For those that don't know what a triplet is, for each downbeat in music, there's actually 3 evenly spaced notes called triplets. They're counted 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. That's what we're going to be doing here. They're kind of awkward to play because it's the one time in music that you can't always pick down on the downbeats. If you're playing these properly, you're picking down on 1 and 3, and you're picking up on 2 and 4. The next 3 notes are going to be these. You're going to take that first finger and go to the G string on the 7th fret. You're going to pick this up on 2, followed by the same thing that we just did with the middle finger and the pinky. Those will be on the same beats, the and beats. The only thing that changed is the first finger. You'll have 2 and a, just like this. 2 and a, picked up, down, up, down, up. That's half of the riff pattern. The other half of the riff pattern is just a repeat of what we did. Essentially what we're doing is that first finger is just going to be toggling back and forth between the B and G string, and the middle finger and pinky you're going to keep doing the same thing on the same beat. With the 4 count lead in, I'll try to play this slow so you can follow it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Kind of tricky, but keep in mind, if you're playing this properly, the alternate picking's never going to stop. The only thing that we're lacking here is a slight palm mute. Let me give you a 4 count lead in, and we'll do that a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. The supporting rhythm guitar part that occurs during the bridge and the verses of the song is 8 measures long. What we're going to do is use simple power chords and all down strokes. What we're going to do on the first 2 measures of the 8 measure pattern is we're going to play an open E5 power chord. We're going to pick it down on 1 and let it ring out for 2 full measures. What that is a whole note tied to a second whole note on the second measure. On the 3rd measure, we're going to go to the G5 power chord and pick it down on 1 and let it ring out for the full measure. The G5 power chord is the type where the first finger is on the low E string at the 3rd fret. When we get to the 4th measure of this progression, we're going to pick this G5 power chord again on 1 and let it ring out as a quarter note. Then we're going to rest for the final 3 quarters of that measure. With the 4 count lead in, this is the first half of this 8 measure progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second half of that 8 measure progression, we're going to go back to the E5 power chord, pick it on the 1 beat, and let it ring out for 2 full measures again. Then we're going to go back to the G5 power chord on the 7th measure of the progression. We're going to pick it down on 1, let it ring out as a whole note for the full measure. And end out the 8 measure progression, we're going to go to the C5, located where the first finger is on the A string at the 3rd fret. We're going to play this as a half note. We're going to pick it down on 1, let it ring for 2 beats. Then we'll shift to the open A power chord. We're going to pick that down on 3 and let that ring out for a half note, the rest of the measure. This is what the second half of this 8 measure progression is going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This 8 measure progression actually repeats itself once each time you do the bridge or the verses. With a 4 count lead in, let's go through the entire process one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes into the next part of the song. This part of the song is going to be an 8 measure long pattern that's going to repeat itself exactly one time. We're going to start out doing the first 2 measures on the low open E string. What we're going to do is we're going to drive it by picking a quarter note down on 1, followed by 3 triplets on 2 picked up, down, up, a quarter note on 3 picked down, and 3 more triplets on 4 picked up, down, up. We're shuffling between quarter notes and triplets here. With the 4 count lead in, this is what the first 2 measures of the 8 measure pattern are going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and up. From this point we're going to go to the G note located on the E string at the 3rd fret. We're going to repeat that count and the same picking technique for 1 measure. On the 4th measure we're going to pick this down on 1 and we're going to rest for half a measure, or a half note rest as they call it. On 4 we're going to place the first finger on the low E string. We're going to pick that down and slide like this. With the 4 count lead in, let's do the first 4 measures of that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from this point we're going to go back to the low open E string. The 5th, 6th, and 7th measures are going to be a repeat of what we did on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd measures. The only thing different is the 8th measure. We're going to play the C note located on the A string at the 3rd fret. What we're going to do here is we're going to play half of the measure on C and the other half on the open A string. And we're going to change the shuffle. Instead of starting out with the quarter note, we're now going to start out with triplets and then go to a quarter note. It'll be counted 1 and a 2, pick down, up, down, up, 1 and a 2. Then we get to the open A string to finish the measure, the same thing, 3 and a 4. 3 and a 4. This is what that last measure is going to sound like with the 4 count lead in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. With the 4 count lead in, let's do that entire 8 measure pattern one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. Now that you know that 8 measure long pattern, we're going to play it a second time. The only thing that we're going to do differently on the second pass through it is we're going to change the very last measure. When we get to the C note, located on the A string at the 3rd fret, we're going to change it so it accents tightly with the fills on the drums. Good drummers and bass players are two individuals that play together as one unit. It's very common for a bass player and drummer to work together like this. It actually makes the band sound better. We're going to change the feel of that just a little bit. What I'll do is I'll pick it and count it aloud as I do it. 1, a 2, and. Just like that. Notice the picking pattern. I went down, up, down, up. Let me do it again. 1, a 2, and. Okay, what we did there is we're still using triplets, but I tied the first and second triplets together. The time value of the second triplet is absorbed by the first one. So we pick it once and let it sustain out through the time value of the second one. The same is true of the 5th and 6th triplets. So one more time, this is how we're going to count that first half of that last measure. 1, a 2, and. Okay, and from that point we're going to go back to the open A string again, and we're going to pick it with 3 triplets. 3 and a, pick down, up, down. 3 and a. And on 4, we're going to place the first finger on the A string at the 12th fret. We'll pick it up on 4 and slide like this. So we're going to have this. 3 and a 4. So with the 4 count lead in, this is what that last measure is going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, a 2, and 3 and a 4. Let's go through that entire passage one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3 and a 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 4 and a 1, 2 and a 4. The supporting rhythm guitar and bass part shown in this video will also be played during the verses. The first verse will be at 2 minutes and 6 seconds on your timer, and the second will be at 3 minutes and 19 seconds.